Hello everybody, welcome back to Run It Up. Run It Up number 73. We'll be getting on to the real Running It Up in just a moment, but I missed you guys. I want to take out a minute to say hello. What's going on? It's been a while since we've done a formal Run It Up. Just got back to Run It Up headquarters a couple hours ago. I flew in, ate, watched The Walking Dead to avoid spoilers, which I didn't even manage to do. And now here we are, ready to run it up. It's been a fun, long weekend for me. Thanksgiving break. I was able to actually relax. I had a couple nice, pure off days in there. So really excited to be back here in Las Vegas, casting for you guys. I'm excited. I'm well rested, energetic, ready to get in there, do some crushing, put people in cages, I'm really excited about it and all that. Before we hopped in there, I thought it would be kind of fun to share with you guys a video from a couple weeks ago. It's a brand new video, but the event, a couple weeks old. I kind of sort of hosted the UFC's, let's say hosted. I'm going to take control. I hosted the UFC's 20th anniversary Hall of Fame poker game, and I got to meet Chuck Liddell, Matt Hughes, Hoist Gracie, Bruce Buffer, and actually I met Bruce before, and Forrest Griffin, and it was awesome. I had a great night. It was an awesome night of poker. We shot a little cool video I thought you guys would enjoy, so we're going to check that out and then get right back here for some sweet run up action. Let's take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Red Rock Casino in UltimatePoker.com Hall of Fame Poker Tournament.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Red Rock. We are here for the UFC's 20th anniversary Hall of Fame poker game. We've got Bruce Buffer, Matt Hughes, Hoist Gracie, Chuck Liddell, and Forrest Griffin, and don't forget an online qualifier, all battling it out here for charity. Let's see what happens.
In seat number one, the legendary Ultimate Fighter, Forrest Griffin.
Chuck Liddell, how cool is that?
A man who none of us know. Yeah! Hoist Gracie! And this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time! Let's shuffle up and deal!
I think we'll see some interesting poker. Hey, I'm not a professional fighter. I'm sure if I fought, there'd be some laughs going on too.
He didn't even look at his cards. He didn't look. Yeah, he's playing blind.
Right now, Bruce is crushing. I think Chuck's in second. Forrest is really hurting. He's been playing the I want to know what that guy has style.
And that's not the best.
It's not the best, right? But it's hilarious because he's his heart on his sleeve.
Over here, we just lost our 6th place finisher, Forrest Griffin, ace on the river, made a full house for Hoist. What happened to Forrest? You're a Forrest's coach. I feel like you might have let him down a little bit here.
I'll tell you what, we started off hotter than hell, and then the next thing you know, we were seeing maybe a couple too many flops the wrong way, and we paid the price. We paid the price very much, so we're out.
Poker does that. Poker does that to you, I guess.
If you don't make a good decision, your ass is out of there.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Hey,
It's
speaking of which,
speaking
what
of
do you
which-
have to say for yourself, champ?
Not much. Not much. I should have listened to you. I started listening to you. It was too late when I started listening to you.
who's your pick to win right now?
Yeah, I'm biased towards my guy, but he's also a professional poker player.
That's
so
a
I
pretty
feel
big
like it's a
edge.
good bias. I thought we had a bit bigger edge, but some of these fighters are really using their coaches. You got Brent yapping away over there, Phildo yapping away.
What are you doing over here? What's your contribution to the group besides drinking?
I'm doing very little, honestly.
6 on the board is no good, so here is one card away from being eliminated from this table full of UFC Hall of Famers. Who wants to do something there? The river card is, it's a king, that's no help. Aaron is out, he is our 5th place finisher. Gracie once again on the river.
I'm here with Bruce Buffer, our 4th place finisher. Boy, Hoist Gracie just crushing it today, huh?
I told Hoist when we were having dinner, I said, Hoist, have you played poker? He goes, no, we never played any cards in Brazil. I said, you're the one that's going to win this. Because usually when you come to these tournaments, the guy that has absolutely no experience, for some reason gets lucky and always wins the tournament. UFC 8 was the first one I ever announced at.
Right, so you've been around for like 19 of the 20 years or something like that, 18 of the years.
Yeah.
What's this mean to you, the 20th anniversary?
You know, it's a culmination of all the things that all of us have worked so hard for. The people that were involved before Zuffa took over. When Dana White, Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta took over, I knew we were going to make it because their passion and what they had behind them was the ability to make this thing work. And I swore my loyalty to them, and that was 13 years ago. And I've just become more loyal and more passionate about everything because it's incredible being on this team. It's an amazing ride, really.
As a fan, thanks so much for all the years you brought of enjoyment and everything. Like, you really bring the spirit of the Octagon, I think, everywhere you go. So
I throw my heart out there. I'm a walking representative of the UFC. I'm very honored and proud about that. But when I announce, I don't care if I'm sick, busted knee, whatever, I will give you 150% of everything I have that night. Because these athletes, these warriors deserve that, and the fans deserve it, because without the fans, we're nothing.
Chuck is down to just one card here. He needs a jacker of 5 on the river to stay alive. The river card is a 3. Chuck Liddell is out, and we are in heads-up action between Hoist Gracie and Matt Hughes.
we're down to heads up here. Matt Hughes versus Hoist Gracie, the rematch from UFC 60, the first UFC fight I ever saw. Pretty awesome actually to be like an arm's length away from these two Hall of Famers.
And Hoist Gracie takes a very big lead. Final punch is the turn now. Ironically enough, Matt Hughes is one of the last 2 8s to stay alive in this thing.
Really solid, straightforward poker, and we almost won it.
Right. So close. Just an 808. You could have been almost a champion.
Same 8 that saved me before, kill me now.
That's right. Poker's a brutal game. Thanks for playing, Hoist. It was awesome having you here. I'm here with Matt Hughes, our champion. First ever Hall of Fame poker game. What does it feel like?
I'm pretty excited. I'm a pretty mellow person, and I think she'd say that. But I'm pretty excited right now because I like to win, and that's probably what's made me as good at sports as I am. Is I don't like to lose at anything, whether it's throwing paper, spitballs, or walking down the sidewalk. I like to be first at everything.
So with all your wins, and there are so many great ones, where would you rank this in amongst all your Hall of Fame wins?
It's up there, but usually I make some money when I win, and this is
Hey,
I get 1,000 to my own charity, so that's great. I'm a big charity guy, so I know exactly where it's going, down to an orphanage, so it'd be great.
I just told him from the beginning, I was like, okay, you've had 9 wins, let's make this number 10, and that was the goal.
She goes, you beat him before, let's do it again.
Yeah.
So we've concluded the Hall of Fame poker game here. Matt Hughes, our champion, defeating Hoist Gracie with a crazy 2-outer on the river. It was an awesome day of poker. We had some pretty exciting hands, actually, all in all. And, look, here it is over here.
Hey, buddy.
My partner in crime.
It looks like you're really busy today.
Yeah, it's really quite the day.
I was pretty impressed. You really brought this whole thing together.
I tried.
You know, I'm just forcing myself to say something nice about you.
It seems
hard.
very hard for you. It
is.
seems like it's hurting you a little bit right now to do it.
All right, let's get the heck out of here. I had fun.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter @UltimatePoker. Follow us on Facebook, also Ultimate Poker on Facebook. YouTube.com/UltimatePoker. It just never ends. So where does it come from? There's an endless well of youth energy that comes from it.
Just let the people go.
All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you back for more very soon. See you later. All right, hopefully you enjoyed that video. What an awesome experience that was for me. So cool, living the dream here at Ultimate Poker. I wanted to play some No Limit just before everyone gets upset with me. What's this 4-card game? But there was nothing running, no seats open. I looked, it's 3:30 in the morning on Monday morning, so not exactly prime time for poker. So this plo8 game was running. This does count for the Run It Up bankroll. And with any luck, we'll run good and go from there. I don't really have a ton of plo8 experience, but I feel like I'll be fine. I played a good amount during the World Series. I've played several days of plo8 in my life. Gonna start here with the check. If you're not familiar with the concept of PLO or Omaha in general, or why I have 4 cards, basically we get to use 2 and exactly 2 cards from our hand, and 3 and exactly 3 cards from the board. So we will just be folding now, and because it is PLO 8 or better, basically the pot will be divided into 2, and the person with the lowest 5 cards wins half the pot, and the person with the highest 5 cards wins half of the pot. So ace deuce is very strong in this game. Hands like ace king deuce are really strong because they have highs and lows. So, it's like a roller coaster, highs and lows. Great, sure, whatever. Let's get in there. I'm excited. Gambling, Boy, it's nice to be home. God, I miss Las Vegas, I arrive 1 o'clock in the morning. No big deal. Food will be delivered 30 minutes. Of course it will. We're in Las Vegas. It's an amazing city. In New York, when I was in New York, it was like 9:30 and couldn't find a place to deliver. It's like, not New York City, obviously. But, my parts of New York, not really happening at 9:30 in the evening. But good old Las Vegas. This bet might be way too thin, but I feel like it's got a shot. We could have the best hand. We're obviously not in the greatest shape now. All right, I probably should have just check folded on the turn. I was a little too optimistic about this here. But, yeah. All right. Did not win that one. That might have been too... Oh, look at this pretty little hand here. Yeah, that was probably too ambitious on the turn there, given our hand. But we could have had the best hand. I thought it was at least possible. Definitely re-raising this. Ace, Jack, King, Deuce? Come on. That's a re-raise in my book. Has to be. It's nutted. I'm actually very excited about this week, not just because this is Run It Up and I've been jonesing. I feel like I have a lot to share with you guys. And, I'm excited about what's to come. But I'm also going to be playing some poker this week. Wow, I know. That's an amazing thing. Who would have thought? I'm really looking forward to that, though. There's a tournament in Las Vegas coming to town, $10,000 buy-in. Very excited to hop over there and maybe see what I can do. I got 10th last year. Maybe I can do a little bit better than that this year. 9th and 8th. I'd rather not get 9th and 8th. Or 7th, actually. 6th or better, or don't cash is fine. Day 1 bust out. That's ideal for me. At this point in my life, I'd prefer to not get 10th if I could help it. So, here we are, playing some poker. I feel great. I have this Dear J. Carver pile like no other to go through. This isn't even the new Dear J. Carvers. That reminds me, if you've sent me any kind of message over the last Thanksgiving week, I haven't read it. So hopefully it wasn't an emergency. I tried my best to relax, I had a couple days where there was like nothing really going on after Thanksgiving, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to just turn off every way to get in touch with me for the next 24 hours. And I did that twice, really, actually. So that was nice. I had like Friday and Saturday both entirely off, which was pretty sweet. Definitely got to call this Ace, Deuce, 3, and 10. Do I love it? Not really, but it's certainly fine. Not the best start for the old Ace 10 Dewey 3. The old 1, 2, 3, 10. I did make a pair, though. That's kind of cool. And he's all in for $12, so we can't fold. We're basically just calling with a gut shot and a pair. But one pair might be good right now. It's possible. And if he just has aces, we're in okay shape against aces on the flop. Less so because he has hearts, and then obviously he turns it. But I think with that price, how could we fold? I don't think there's any way we could do that there. His hand is very strong, but I bet you the equities are, surely totally fine. As much as we dislike it, can't go anywhere given the math of things. Another pretty strong PLO 8 hand. I should have made it $3 maybe. Does it matter? I don't really think so. Really excited to get through the Dear J. Carvers. If you have a question for me, dearjcarver@gmail.com, and you might get your question read on Run It Up this week. That's right. I'm going to try to print them out relatively quickly. So if you send them to me today, I might be reading them tomorrow. So fire those away. dearjcarver@gmail.com. Those will be coming this whole week. I think if this guy bets we have to call, we have nut low draw, ace queen might be the best hand. It's possible. Possible, though unlikely, and we can probably win this hand unimproved sometimes. Again, rarely, but sometimes. So we could try to bluff this, right? We could try to bluff this. But it doesn't look like a super credible bluff, to be honest with you. But maybe. Why can't we have a deuce? Why can't we have ace deuce here? That makes like a reasonable thing, right? All right. I think we did it. We won the pot. That's all I know. We won the pot. So, hey, look, another pretty hand. I'm going to start pulling some of these questions here. Oh, there's so many questions, and this pile is so big. I've got to really kind of burn through them. My dismissals might have to be more permanent than they usually are. Def re-raising here. Ace 3 and king. Come on. I re-raise. Def's re-raising. I actually had a very non-dramatic Thanksgiving. Usually in the past, I have a history of having very dramatic family Thanksgivings. This year was very not dramatic. This year was relatively pleasant, actually. That's how I would review it. It was fine. It was nice. New Jersey was nice. I very much am happy to be back in my home sweet gambling town of Las Vegas, though, instead of Atlantic City. I'm just saying. Def calling, by the way. Pair, nut low draw. Run the cards, dealer. He's got a 9. He had turned the nut low, which kind of sucks, but we have 2 pair, which I believe will win half the pot. That looks like what is going to be happening. All that excitement, half the pot. But it was nice. My first time at the Taj. It was actually nicer than I was expecting. Not that I was expecting anything, but I was expecting it to be like straight out of like Rounders is what I was kind of thinking it would look like. And it was actually relatively refurbished, I thought. Empty though. Crazy. I mean, I know it was like the week before Thanksgiving, but very quiet down there. Made it back to New York. Sloshed around New York for a couple days. And that's it. Here we are, back in Las Vegas. I'm quite excited about that. This trip proved to me how much I've become. I just like being in Vegas more than being in New York these days. It just reminded me of that truth that I had forgotten. I've been spoiled by some certain things in Vegas that are not in New York. Not least of which is how nice the setup is. And back home, it's like, oh. Anyway. All right, let's pull some questions. I'm jonesing for some Dear J. Carvers. I'm jonesing for them. I might even read poker questions today. That's, all right, here you go. Here's a question. Dear J. Carver, I've had a good amount of success in tournaments and sit and goes, see, a poker question. I told you it was going to happen. You didn't believe me, I bet. And I feel I have a good grasp of the big picture of what I need to do to win. However, sometimes I feel lost in cash games and don't know what mindset or goals I should have in order to succeed. I don't play higher than $1, $2. What is the mindset and goals you have when playing cash? P.S. You were extremely boring in your Poker VT videos. That's very true. Not only was I was very boring in the old days because partially it was years ago. I was deep in a closet as far as, on several levels, you could even say. And yeah, I don't know. I realized that when I was watching poker videos that they were all just so fucking boring that you would just tune out these brilliant wizards who are like really sharp. And I mean, obviously as a professional poker player, I can stomach my way through the more boring but amazing poker videos. But in terms of like a widespread audience, I just feel like most people's videos are just not people want to see. They like squeeze the fun out of poker. And I just don't think that I felt like the way that these run-up videos are such a better balance of fun and learning than the pure learning types of videos. Just my guess. And I feel like that's, I don't know. I think that's how we do it here in Team Run It Up. That's all I know. The days of the boring training videos are out the window. If you've been jonesing for a fun way to learn plo8, well, boys, today your day. If you're a UFC fan particularly, oh, today was definitely your day. Anyway, so your question was, what is the mindset and goals that I have when playing cash? Well, I don't really have goals. Like, I don't say I'm going to check raise 3 people, today. Like, I don't go in with, like, a hit list or, like, a laundry list of things to do or anything like that. But I think the goal of, like, playing good, making good decisions, making better decisions than your opponents, I've always liked that kind of, like, this is what I'm doing here. I've always liked that kind of really, like, competitive, fighty type of mindset where You're always trying to think in terms of like, are you doing things better than your opponents would do them? I think that's always a good goal. If my opponents had the same cards that I had, were they making better or worse decisions than me? And I like to say that I'm making better decisions. Winning pots they wouldn't win. Bluffing people in spots they wouldn't bluff. Those are all good things, I think. This hand is not very good because there is no low possibility, but double suited jacks on the button. I have 23 big blinds. How bad could it be? Can't be that bad. Just saying. As far as mindset goes, just try to make good decisions. You're a good decision-making machine. I think should be the way you look at it. You're just trying to make the best decisions possible. All right. Open on a straight draw, gut shot straight flush draw, and a set. Welcome to plo8. And we could definitely be beat here, but I've got $21 and I'm not folding, so I'm betting and not folding. Betting and running the cards. You have ace king. I'm probably a favorite. I have three outs to chop, and then any board pair, any spade. I think I like my chances. Is all I'm gonna say about that one. But yeah, I don't really have any other mindsets really, goals, things. Win money. That's the goal, I guess. But in terms of like actually helpful advice, just you want to stay focused and try to play poker for as long as you can play. I am totally up for you setting goals, but I can't tell you what your goals are. Maybe your goal is to play an hour without tilting. Maybe your goal is to play a 6-hour session without tilting. Maybe your goal is to play a 2-hour session without ever checking your phone. I don't know. There are plenty of goals that you could make for you, and that would be great, and you should think about that. But only you can really set those things, I think that for me, like if I'm gonna go play a session, I'm just gonna fold. Disciplined fold. Actually, it's probably too disciplined. 3-handed on the button. I think that's way too nitty. By the way, I haven't adjusted our bankroll yet from when I left, so we did end up losing a little bit while I was in Jersey, but I haven't adjusted it yet. I literally just hopped on right into the casting seat. But when I'm playing a tournament, maybe I'll have like a particular goal in terms of like, all right, well, today, not usually a chip goal, but goals in terms of like, all right, I'm going to try to play good today, in terms of like, I'm going to try to avoid confrontations here. I'm going to try to pick up a lot of small pots if I can help it, which aren't really goals as much as they are just like tactics, strategies, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that helped. If it didn't help, write me another email. Be like, hey, bitch, didn't really help me. I need more information. 2 per. Call. Could be dead. Hopefully not. Oh, yeah. Okay. Don't think that did it. Unfortunately not. Deuce 5-5, not a low draw. We did have a low outs, but did not get there. Rebuy. Can't do anything about that. Right. Let's rip one of these questions here. No, dear Jay Carver. Sorry, bud. When you got hundreds and hundreds of emails here, I can't answer the non-Dear Jay Carver emails. Dear Jay Carver. No, never mind. I didn't like your question. I'm sorry. I didn't like it. I just couldn't do it. Dear Jay Carver, you're welcome, LOL. All right. I haven't read your question yet, but you wrote you're welcome and Dear Jay Carver. So, okay. You got it, kid. First, I wanted to thank you. You're welcome. Second, I had a question. I'm 23, but I make pretty good money in the job I got at a university. Not to sound like a douche. Okay. Oh, look at you, Mr. Fancy Have a Job. I'm 23 years old, but I'm making pretty good money with this job I got from my fancy schoolings. All right. I like that you wrote not to sound like a douche. You didn't sound like a douche till you wrote that part, and then I read it like a douche, and then you sounded like a douche. Anyway, I've been playing low stakes, mostly 3 or 4 tabling, 10 cent, 25 cent, sometimes 2 tabling, 25 cent, 50 cent. I've been a steady winner in those games. Okay. Huge paragraph break. My question is, do you think it's worth playing higher stakes if I have the money to do so, and maybe risk getting thrown in the cage at the start before I start to improve? Well, sure. Sure. I think it's fine. You can play higher stakes, lower stakes, whatever you want to do. I think it's fine. You can't really mess that up. That's the other table I'm just quitting now. which does not look like it's going to be running. I think it's fine. You know, if you really have the money to spare and the games are good and you just want to play all the time, the games will be definitely different. But I think like if you're not winning at the stakes you're already playing, then you're not adjusting to the game correctly. You know what I mean? Like people go like, oh, you can't bluff at low stakes. Well, it's not that you can't bluff, it's just that the players you're playing just don't fold. So you should adjust to that. If you can't adjust to that, how are you going to adjust to the guys who are adjusting to you? Just saying, kids, you know? Just saying. So we have a gut shot, a 10, an ace-5 low draw, and a backdoor flush draw. I think these things are good enough to let us bet. The only thing we're really crushed by is like ace-deuce jacks. Even that is not really that crushing. Those hands are hard to have. If somebody had ace-deuce and jack-jack, they'd probably have heard about it before now. Everything else, whatever. Run the cards, you know? How bad can you hurt me? So yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna, you know, you can think of it as like tuition money, and so also if you're playing 1-2, you're not gonna be up against like sharks and wizards. They'll be more shark-ish, they'll be more sharkly for sure, but they're not gonna be like super scary or anything. So yeah, play bigger, play live, whatever you want to do. Worst case scenario, you eat the slight loss. I think we just call here. You eat the slight loss as like a tuition of sorts. That's a pretty flop for us, huh? Nut spaders. Nut gut shot, and he's betting out. Raise it up, dealer. I think 1760 is fine. Pot. Raise the pot. Hopefully it just has like, nope. Well, we've turned a 7-3 low, which is not nothing. Don't think we can fold here. We do have an ace for the high, which is not great. If he has 3-5, we're just destroyed. But how does he have 3-5 and not just shove on flop? We'd be dead to a spade if he had 3-5. But I think we can't fold. I mean, we have a fairly good low. If he just has like ace-5 himself, he doesn't have a low or anything. Okay. So I think we win the high, and he wins the low. He wins the low with a 65, right? 6-5, 4, deuce, ace. So he has a 6-5 low. We had a 7-5 low. So you can always count from the way you can judge highs is you can always count the 5 cards that make your low, and whatever the lowest high card is, or the tying, whatever, you know, if it's both 7 low, 7-6 for 7-5, that's the trick. So you can always pick the 3 on the board and the 2 in your hand that make the most sense and see, or, you know, make the most sense. Yeah, you know. So I guess that's not wrong. You know, you're trying to pick the cards that make the most sense. That's it. Are we going to get to watch this session later? Yeah, I hope so. I can't guarantee it, but I hope so. Yeah. So I don't really think I answered your question too much, but I answered it. So, you know, I think it's fine. If you got the money, then sure, do whatever you want to do. Hi, Jason. No. Interesting question, but I don't want to answer that right now. Nah. I mean, these all seem perfectly nice, just, you know. Poker questions. Oh. Alright. I haven't answered one of these questions in a while. Dear Jay Carver, I have an actual poker question for you. That's right, I read this and still read the question. How crazy is that? How would you approach Run It Up if you were not filming it for the internets? Well, I'd be a lot quieter about it, that's for sure. Assuming you could get one, I don't know one what. Assuming you could get one, what games would you play? Would you be more aggressive with shot taking, stuff like that? Well, we just fold here, by the way. Sad as it is. If I was just playing just for the pure challenge of doing the $10,000 challenge like that, I would just play like more tables, obviously. I would probably only be playing cash, but I guess it wouldn't make a big difference. I mean, whatever. It wouldn't be significantly different to me. Wow, Jack 10 5-3. That's a hand. Ace 4 gets half. Jack 10 gets half. 10-3. So yeah, I would play more tables. I would be putting in longer sessions. Definitely putting in longer sessions. That's probably one of the things that hurts us the most at Run It Up, because I think that our edge sometimes comes from like the 2 or 3 hour sessions where we're playing with the same people for all this time, and we're just slowly learning their tendencies. But it takes some time to, you guys know. That's right. You guys know what I mean. It takes some time to set that up. So if you're only playing 20-minute, 30-minute sessions and then you're piecing out, you're not really going to set all the traps that you would like to have set out, Full house and the ace-3 low ball. I think... Should we do something tricky and check raise? Oh, let's check raise. Because if he has missed spades, like Jack 10-9, okay, obviously he has something he would bet or called maybe. But my hope was that if he had a hand like Queen Jack 9, just like a pure straight draw, pure spade draw, if he had a pure low draw that paired, or just a low, that he would bomb it. And then we could raise all in and be like, I have a full house, bitch. So I was trying to be tricky, and instead we got evaded. I went with evaded. It's a correct word, actually. Evaded seems fine. Gonna bet here 3 straight flush, 3 low, gut shot. So many things. Couldn't even finish them all before we won the pot. So yeah, I would definitely be more aggressive with shot taking, and of course. Would I be more aggressive with shot taking? Yeah. At times I'd probably be more nitty though. Like in the beginning, I probably would have been nittier with money than I am always. It hurts me more to lose like Run It Up money than it hurts me to lose like regular money. Obviously, at this point, regular money is what called my day job for 6 years. Losing money, it's not that big of a deal, but losing Run It Up money is like damn it. You know what I mean? If I had no life obligations, were a proper degen like the old days. That hasn't really changed that much. No one really... I don't really have obligations, If I had no life, I don't really have a life either. It's still pretty gambling related. What sort of time frame would you expect would be required to complete the challenge? Well, I might be delusional about this, but I really believe that if you said, hey, Jay Carver, Run It Up in a month, I think I could do it in a month. With a reasonable... Okay, could I do it 100% of the time in a month? No, I couldn't, but I'd probably be a favorite. I'd probably be a 55% favorite, given that there were always games that I wanted to play, which is not 100% in Nevada. So, given that there were always games that I wanted to play, that I could always multi-table to the amount that I wanted to multi-table. So, if you gave me like a perfect playing environment, the games of like, normal skill level. So, I'm not asking for fish ponds here. I'm just saying, Given that I could actually play, because that's a big impact. The amount of hands that I get to play is a big impact on the time it would take. I think it could take me a month. Something like that, if I was trying to turbo it. Dear Jay Carver / Jason, I noticed gut shot, backdoor flush draw, and top pair. Happily betting. If he calls, I'm not going to be loving it because there's 2 low cards out there, so he is a low card away from being there. 10 is a pretty safe card. We're only beat by Jack 9 now and pocket 10s, and those hands are kind of hard to have. So I'm going to bomb it. If he wants to draw to his low, that's fine by me. It'll cost you $12 to get there. All right. Okay. Sure. Dear Jay Carver / Jason, in case I wasn't sure who Jay Carver was. I noticed in your life and times with Jay Carver, you said that you made over a couple thousand of your first few months playing online poker. That sounds about right to me. I think we just fold this, as crazy as that is. The 9 is kind of like a blank card, and this guy could just very easily reshove, and, if the 9 was a queen, I'd probably call, but I think that's... I don't really know. That's very much like a feel type of situation for me. This game is very feely for me, generally speaking, because no one's ever really told me much about plo8. But from my gut, I feel like that's a disciplined fold. I've done a couple of those though. I'm not really sure how great they are. So I don't contend to be a perfect machine expert at this game. So your question is, you and so many other pros made so much money right off the bat with no sign of variance. I don't know. Did you watch all the videos? Because I had a lot of variance in there until much later in your early days. Why is it I struggle to make a profit on a daily basis despite playing what I believe to be a very strong game? I know variance plays a part, but in all the stories of pros, all pros' beginning stories, none of them seem to experience it or admit to it. I feel like people. Thank you, Tom. I think that you just don't hear the stories of people who like deposit and lose their first deposit or don't get started for a while. Like I think that's probably both the human. It's like the human expression, interpretation to some degree, right? Because people just forget all their bad beats and remember how good they ran. And you hear a lot more of like heroic stories than you do about like the real grinders who like, play 500,000 hands before winning or whatever. But I think if you really took like an honest, measurement of the entire like elite poker pro community, you'd find plenty of stories like that. And if you're playing good and getting your money in good, you're on your way, kid. Nothing will hold you back at this point. So if you're on your way and doing it, you'll get there eventually, I think. But it might, it's just a matter of variance if you are playing good, as you say. And I think most pro stories have probably been whitewashed by both their own memories and through whatever media you consumed it in. So I would bet you by the time you hear it, you don't hear all the crazy ups and downs and highs and lows. You just hear like, yep, it was fine. That's just my opinion, though. Might be wrong. It's happened before. Dear Jay Carver, can you remember the last time you played a big pot which would cause actual pain if you lost it? If so, against who and how big was it? The last time that I played a pot that I would have been really pained if I had been hurt. I could say that it's the stream. If you guys hadn't seen the live stream, which most of you had because it's crazy, it's like 10,000 views. But the live stream I did with Antonio was pretty awesome. That kind of hurt a little bit. It really didn't. I had a great time that day. It was actually pretty awesome. And I was happy to have a shot at 36K. Never mind, it was pretty exciting all in all. I was happy to be a part of that. But the last time I actually played a big pot and would have been sad if I lost. I'm having trouble thinking of a time where I would have been sad if I lost. It would have had to be really big, and I haven't played huge stakes cash in so long now that I don't think that there's even a great answer for you. Boy, I don't love this, especially because he's played his hands so much like he's got a low and not a high. Because if he had a high hand, he would have played it more aggressively probably on the turn. So we're calling 7 to win half of this, right? Not half of, I think we just fold, to be honest. Like, we don't ever win the high because we're playing 2 cards from our hand, right? So we don't have a straight. Yeah, I think that was fine. So yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back pretty far. I played in a cash game where I tried to bluff Brian Rast. I tried to bluff Brian Rast, and I remember like that was like a 40K pot that I wish I had won, but I didn't. I tried to bluff him. I didn't think he would think that I was ever bluffing, and then he was like, "Call," and I was like, I don't have anything. Here you go. $40,000. Enjoy. Great. I mean, it was only 20 of my 1,000, but still a lot. Check. Kings. Oh yeah. So yeah, that was like 2 years ago. But I can't really think. I haven't really played poker for high enough stakes lately that I really have an answer to that. I've been jonesing though to get back into poker and not like live gambling poker. So if that actually happens, might have another answer for you shortly. And Life of Times of Jay Carver is overdue. Yes, it is overdue. I would love to do another Life and Times of Jay Carver sometime soon. You guys have been asking me for them, which is great. If you ask me, that's how you get me to do things. Ask me, and I'll do them. I would love to stream. I have a feeling I'm going to stream this Friday. I think that would be a cool thing to do. I think I'm going to just go back to the whole idea of streaming on Fridays. So probably stream around 3 p.m. Pacific time on Friday. You can mark your calendars right now. You can write a little RIU on it and then put a little XD next to it. You know, you can do whatever you want to do to keep yourself alerted that 3 p.m. Pacific time on Friday there'll be a stream to remember. I don't know what. I mean, there's no way we can fold. We lose to ace-3, and obviously we lose plenty of other things. But our hand is pretty good. It's pretty hard to have ace-3 and everything else, you know. Even if it does have ace-3 exactly, it's like, you know, you'd have to have ace-3 and then a pair. That's kind of hard to do. We have ace-jack. It's not nothing. Did you ever post the table chat? This is all the same email. Did you ever post the table chat on Facebook when you called them the 500K with deuces? Yes, I did. It does in fact exist. I actually also linked it in the actual video description. There's a link to a place where I pasted it. Is there a cap on the amount of questions you're allowed to ask? You ask good questions, so no, you can ask as many questions as you like. Got ourselves back to our flush draw, pocket sevens, again a gut shot. Pretty happy to protect that a little bit. Let's pull a couple more questions here. Probably only going to play for another orbit because it is very late, and we'll do a full-fledged run it up with a full night of sleep and everything tomorrow. But this is pretty good. I'm excited to be back. I feel like I've missed you guys out there in run it up land, you know. All right. Kelvin. We know Kelvin. Kelvin, a run it up super fan. That's right. Helps have a unique name, you know, like Rory McDonald. Helps have a unique name. And then, you know, you stand out in the run-it-up legion, you know. We're probably not going to play too much heads up here. But, if you're going to raise, then sure. Good night. Well, we have ace-7 and a 10, so I feel like that's good enough to bet against a guy who only has $27. 5's interesting. I think we'll go into check back mode and then probably call on most rivers. 9 doesn't scare me. He could definitely have an overpair here. I guess we just check back now. Okay. I think he would bet on the river if he had an overpair most of the time. If he had bet, I would have probably just folded. But he did not, so we didn't have to do anything. That's how I like it. Check. Hey, Kelvin, just had a burning question. That's the whole point of the Dear J. Carver email address. That's right. How do you feel about showing cards? Do you ever show? I realize it's bad for personal long-term gain and such, but sometimes is it worth showing? Thanks, Keo, the great work. It's normal. That's right. Yeah, I show cards once in a while. Usually only live. I mean, almost always only live. Just because sometimes you want to show cards, keep the game friendly, show people, you know, hey, I wasn't messing around there. Or, hey, I was messing around there. You should be on tilt now. plo8, do you defend things like this? In plo, you would always defend things like this. This hand's pretty trashy. Alright. Disciplined fold. Disciplined fold. I don't know. What do you know, Jay Carver? Fuck plo8. I'm out of here. Hey, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. This is the only thing running. I'll show you the lobby. What can I tell you? If there's a lot of games running now, I'll be upset. There's not. There's barely any games running right now because it's 4 in the morning on Monday. I don't know what to tell you. 4 in the morning on Monday. plo8. There's 2 plo8 games and a plo game. And then a full ring hold'em. This is the best I could do for you. Alright. Or that. I started to be concerned, but then no concern no longer. I want to encourage him to stick around if he just has a low draw, even though, you know, because he's drawing just dead to half the pot, you know, if he just has a low draw. We've improved now to 9s full of jacks. That's kind of cool. There's a good chance he just folds. He just has a hand that can't call anything. But maybe he can call. Maybe he has this ace-king or something like that. I've got a full house. And he's thinking about it. He must have like ace-queen 4-5. Ace... I mean, something like that. I don't think you win. Just a flush, eh? Just a flush. No big deal. All right. Is this the end of the game? Nope. All right. We'll continue the games for a little bit longer. We'll not quit this guy just yet. Pretty sweet hand. Not a great hand. It's like very mediocre. But we have ace jack and ace 6. And the 6-8 suited just in case. Decent flop. I guess we start with a check. And a call. And then full house again. Check and check. So now a low is possible, right? Maybe he just has an ace, might call if he has like ace king, something like that. Could always have a 6, something like that also would be sweet. Does that answer your question, Kelvin? Yeah, so show cards is fine. I think there's plenty of circumstances where it's fine, but it should be one of those things you should do as a tool in your tool belt and not as like a default type of thing. You know what I mean? I think as long as you're doing it with an intelligence behind it, you know, you've created it for a reason. I don't know what that was, but it's created, you know? As long as you've created it for a reason, then I think it's a fine tactic to mix in your game every once in a while. By the way, we're $3.30 away from sweet break-evenness. That's pretty cool. Check, I guess? We'll probably play this for like no longer than like 5 more minutes, though, because I don't want this video to be 2 hours long. We have a pretty good low draw, no diamond draw, by the way, in case you're not familiar with this plo thing. We did turn a pair, though. Remember, 2 cards from your hand, so it doesn't matter if there are 4 diamonds on the board. We did river a pretty decent low here. I think we can bet small. Surely we win the high or the low. It seems rather impossible we lose both. Ace X, 3-4. Doesn't bet turn. Something. It has to be really weird for that to be the case. Probably no more Dear J. Carvers if we're playing heads up. It's just how this works. Pair status. That's nice. Check, though. I don't really think I want to bet. I guess we'll call at this point. Call, don't love it. Any 8, 6, 5, 3 deuced ace will all be unpleasant. Or we can just river full house again. I guess that's alright too. $6 seems fine. Most of the time he just check folds, but sometimes he has flushes, 9s, stuff like that, and you want to bet more towards the high end than the low end. I mean, we could be bluffing here. So often we have Jack 10, 8, 5, 6, 8, Ace, Deuce, Jack 10. There are so many hands that have nothing here, you know? But I guess he snuffs it out correctly. But hey, profit land. That's right. I've been waiting to ring the damn bell for 2 fucking weeks now, okay? Don't be upset with me, and, you know, we're not even in profit land anymore. But still, you know, I'm excited to be even near it. Bottom 2 pair. Unfortunately, this is not Texas Hold'em where we'll just be all in. He is pretty short stacked, but I think we just end up calling. As sad as this is. I mean, we make some mistakes on turn cards, and he doesn't have that many. He doesn't have that much, right? I think we just re-raise, get it in. I mean, like, I think it's like tournament plo, and at this point, I think just check raising to not make mistakes is fine. He could have us beat, but, you know. Oh, he gets half. So that's actually a very scary hand for us to be up against. But, you know, he played his hand fine. We played our hand okay. It all worked out in the end, you know? It all worked out in the end. So I'll probably play one more orbit of this 3-handed game. And then peace out, you know? I'll get some rest. Be back here tomorrow. Gambling it up, trying to run it up. Don't forget. All right, I'll tell you in a minute. Don't forget. Yeah, so just keep that in mind in a minute. I guess we'll be betting here, protection, etc. Turn to low draw with the old 56. I think that it's more likely that this guy. It's pretty unlikely this guy has hearts, right? It's pretty unlikely this guy has hearts. So he's probably got like, I don't know. Maybe he has Jack 10. Might fold that. Might have King X, Queen X, something like that. I just thought we could give him the business there and probably get him to fold. And if he didn't fold, we still had a low draw as a backup escape hatch in case of emergency plan. You know, just in case. Look at this, $5.86 we're up. Sweet little flop here. Got a backdoor low draw, nut flush draw. No raises pre-flop, so I don't really think that there's a reason to assume that our opponent will be betting here on the button. So I think we'll just bet ourselves. Everyone calls. That is a bummer of a turn card. Hard for this guy to have a 3. Has to have like Jack 3. Something like that. He has the most combinations of 10-9, King 10. That's true as well. Alright, I guess I check. He could still have 3s. He could have like King Queen, Ace Queen, not fold. Those kinds of things. I guess we fold here. With the board paired, you know, we're not really sure if a flush is even good. You know, plus we're drawing to a flush with a paired board, 2 people. Not the best things. Not the best thing to do. Interesting. Queen 3. Look at us. Look at us. Dodging full houses. No big deal. No big deal or nothing. 50 cents? You got it. I'll call it 50 cents. Let's see a flop. Boy, that is a good flop with the King, 10, 8, huh? That's a crushingly good flop right there. Backdoor Royal, though. Not this time, I suppose. So yeah, the plan this week should be awesome. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is, but I know there'll be 5 sweet videos this week. So Monday through Friday, there'll be 5 sweet videos. Friday will be a stream. I might even be able to stream on YouTube, which I've been looking into, but I have not successfully done yet. But I'm thinking about it. So let's. All right, yeah. So I got some accounting to do because this number is wrong. I got to now add this sweet $2.36. Lest we forget that. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget, comment in the comments below and be like, "Hey, Jay Carver, happy to see you back. We missed you. You know, it was hard times for the Run Up Legion, but here we are, back together again on the road to $10,000 and all sorts of other fun glories." Facebook.com/JCarverPoker. Don't forget to hop over there. You can add me on there. That's the home of Run It Up on social media these days. And don't forget also, let me know what you guys thought about the little segment video thing we did earlier. It's something that I am planning on doing a couple more times, just because, whether you like it or not, because I have other videos coming out that I want to release that way. So that will be coming. Let me know what you guys thought about that video and the whole idea of having those sort of segments in there. You know, I'm not necessarily sure I ever want to do segments like to have guests as segments, not their own videos. But for Run It Up, I kind of like the idea of once in a while having like non-poker playing segments, videos from cool things that are going on, right? That seems like it makes sense to me. So let me know what you guys think about that. And I really appreciate all of your comments, feedback, messages, love, support, as always. So thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, I will see you back for more very soon. Peace.